Lunaverse, Episode 10, Ice Hearts, by Grassy Clouds 2, Chapter 2. No. Ditsy, are you awake? The male bear's eyes flared open to reveal a blue-coated unicorn wearing a big purple hat. Ditsy blinked a few more times as the rest of the train car swam into focus. I am now. How long was I out? A few hours, Trixie giggled. I guess we shouldn't have stayed up late with the marshmallows and hot chocolate, huh? No, it was fine. It's nice to be able to stay up late now and then. Ditsy rolled over and got to her hose. They looked around the well-appointed train car. Especially in an environment like this. We should travel as nights more often. Trixie grinned as she followed Ditsy's gaze, which moved well past the stock pantry and liquor cabinet. Wait, Trixie, you're allowing the bourbon to survive? Trixie needs to conserve. The couches and beds in the little library were selling on a card table on the other end of the car. When the others get back, I'll show you all some card tricks that I've been prepping for Heartswarming Eve. You won't believe your eyes. I know that. Ditsy looked around the car. Actually, where are the others? I think they went to find the conductor to see how far out we are. The train car door opened, and Shirley and Lyra entered. We'll be in Moscow really soon, said Shirley. I hope you've been studying those Ross on phrase books I got you, because it's time to put them to use. Trixie grinned wanly. Shirley met her gaze with a calm, pleasant smile. Trixie's grin slid, and Shirley kept smiling. Let's just say, I'm not really a steady kind of pony, said Trixie at last. Shirley chuckled. I could translate, but it shouldn't be a big problem. Most Russians speak equestrian too. The crane car door burst open, and Carrot Top ran in. Girls, she said, a huge grin on her face. Girls, guess what's in the last car on the train? Come on, guess. A year's supply of weekly carrot magazines, guessed Trixie. Plants! Apparently, they're doing botanical research in Stalingrad, trying to grow healthier and more nutritious vegetables and stuff. And they got all the kinds of magical herbs and flowers they're going to be researching. Carrot Top laughed. I guess what? The person in charge of the plant shipment is the cousin of one of the guards we rescued when the salamanders attacked Continent last spring. She's so grateful she said I could look through the plants. She was almost bouncing from hoof to hoof. They got Poison Joke and Hot Society and Long-necked Daffodils and Killer Joke. What's the deal about tall weeds? Asked Trixie. No, the daffodils that mostly left in your neck if you eat them. Trixie blanched, and Ditsy, Lyra, and Shirley laughed. Please, don't try them, said the showmare at last. Don't worry, Hey, where's Raindrops? Carrot Top looked around. There were a few bugs there, too. I figured maybe Raindrops could have a fun story to tell snails. I caught him looking through my carrots the other day, hunting for worms. Hard to explain, there wasn't any such thing. Raindrops said she was going to find some fun, said Shirley. Granted, I guess he's had more fun than you, said Trixie. At that point, the exterior of the door of the car opened and Raindrops flew in. She was covered in snow and dripped water onto the entranceway. With a contented sigh, she went to her wings a few times, splashed the others, then jumped onto the carpet and rolled around like a contented cat. I love it here, she murmured. Snowstorm outside, asked Trixie, torn between complaining about being splashed with snow and giggling at Raindrops' silly behavior. Even better! The snow melts to rain a few hundred feet above the train, so it's a nice big rainstorm. There's no weather patrol for miles. Raindrops grinned. It's a huge rainstorm that makes one rainbow dance through every look like a summer drizzle. It's completely uncontrolled, and because it's from melted snow, all the raindrops are just the right size. She sprayed her wings out. We need more storms like this in Ponyville. Ditsy looked out the window and into the rainstorm. Hey, we're knights, right? We have the right of approach. We should ask Luna to send us a really big rainstorm as a thank you for all the times we saved the world. Raindrops stuffed her wings into the carpet a few more times. Who's with me? There was silence. Maybe we'll just ask her to send you a rain cloud, said Trixie. How's that? Raindrops sighed in a melodramatic fashion. I suppose it'll do. Ditsy laughed as soon as the air joined in. It was cold and wet outside, the mailman reflected, but the warmth and cheer from her friends inside made it all worth it. A few minutes later, once Raindrops was dried off and Charlie put a big pot of tea, Trixie took out the papers out of her saddlebag. You know, I should be happy that there's a room full of wet women here. But unfortunately, it's a room full of wet mares because one went outside. Trixie is going to hurt you badly. So, after Moscow, the train stops in Nizhny Novgorod, somewhere said. And after we stopped in Stalingrad, we turn near and head east for a few hours and make, I think, 3 more stops. First in Omsk, and then St. Petersburg, and then some small town. Then we're in home. Can we get off the train anywhere? Said Lyra. There's so many historical sites in Russia. The most cult places and statues, Castle Stalingrad, the almost ossuary. In no time. The train stops aren't long enough for anything more than buying a bowl of borscht on the train station, and Luna said this was urgent, so we can't stop somewhere and wait for a later train. That's why we got the express, and are only stopping in 6 cities, not 60. Trixie shrugged. But no reason we can't dawdle a bit on the way back. She paused. Unless, Ditzy, how long is Dicky staying at Sparklers? Do you need to hurry back? In extra day or two shouldn't be a problem, especially with that new spell you worked out. Great! And then it's settled. On the way back, we can sightsee for a day. Raindrops blinked. Just a day to sightsee? How long is it supposed to take us to kick the big bad Wendigo, which barely exists, and isn't some story parents used to scare fools, in the flank? At least step it with the elements and it goes away. Shouldn't it take more than like an hour? We'll have time to spare. We're not just... Trixie paused. Oh, right. You missed Agent Haymaker's briefing. Hey, Raindrops said, blushing. Not my fault. I had a family thing. Raindrops looked at the mass of bees. She looked at her little brother. She looked at the mass of bees coating her little brother. Snails, what are you doing? She asked for great trees. Oh, he challenged me for the title of Darius Pony in Ponyville? Asked chirped Rainbow Dash. So he's standing next to Snails, who was also covered with bees. We're tied, so we're at the final test, the test of bees. Whoever has bees on them the longest wins. She paused. Well, technically the winner faces Applejack later, since he's got the title right now. Whoever has the bees on them for the longest wins the right to challenge her. Yeah, Snails grinned. I'll be the bravest pony around, Big Sis. You just watch. You're using protective coating, right? Rainbow Dash said. Of course. Snails blinked. Oh, I knew I'd forgotten something. For a moment, there was nothing but silence. Snails, I'm getting the beekeeper and DBing you. But Raindrops, I think they might give me honey if I give them a ponyback ride. And thus began Raindrops' attempt to negotiate with a swarm of bees. Raindrops, you're not going to get anywhere unless you find a queen. Most of the time, all bees start saying the same thing, and they start talking, and they start saying stuff in unison when they're all together like that. It's annoying. Anyways, I got that sword, and I caught the tail end of the meeting, remember? We just need to buck a Wendigo in the face, and we're good. Trixie sighed. Does somebody who was paying attention want to feel Raindrops in? Charlie giggled and thought a prim look. The Wendigo has claimed to have had a child with a pony, which is now demanding to see. After deliberation, Luna, her courtiers, and her military officers have decided that they are willing to extend trust to the Wendigo, and the child's guardian, Lithium, first in Provence, of Furlong and Palermo, has agreed to go along with this as well. As such, we're going to Nome in order to guard Ice Heart, that's the child, and to fight String and other equestrians during the meeting, as well as hopefully help to establish communication with the Wendigo, if at all possible. Raindrops stared. Wait. A Wendigo had a child with a pony. Apparently. How? Raindrops, do you know how many horse half-breeds there are in mythology? Actually, let me rephrase that. Do you know how many animal crossbreeds there are in mythology? I don't want to hear it. Especially as a guy who also enjoys science fiction, where apparently we humans can practically bang any random alien and will come out with a half-breed. Alright, there are half Klingons, half human, half Romulan, half human Cardassian, half human Bajoran, and yes, of course, half human, half Vulcan. Trust me, raindrops. If it's possible, nature will find a way. Try not to think about it, deadpan Lyra. Raindrops glance. Seriously, nobody knows. The child's mother died 9 months ago. What the grig? Without her, your guess is as good as mine at how that worked. Well, maybe she got really cold. The Wendigo saw her, and she decided to warm up. In a very, very effective way. Or she had some white dragon blood in her, and that made her fairly resistant to cold. Cheerily turned back to Raindrops. Basically, our job is to make sure the Wendigo doesn't attack the Ice Heart, Hussons, or anybody else while we're there. Do we know how to fight the Wendigo? Asked Carrot Top. Lara nodded. The legends say they were driven off when ponies first abandoned their tribal bigotry and formed real friendships. As long as we stay friends, it shouldn't be able to touch us. Can we do better than shouldn't? Asked Raindrops. Trixie said, Luna never used the elements on the Wendigo directly, but once she understands of them, she is certain they will work. They are some of the most primal magic in all the world. If they could beat the tyrant's son, they could beat a chilly horse who feeds on meanness. Raindrop smiled at that. Ditzy held up a hoof. How did Poussin end up as this child's guardian? I don't know much about her, but from how you described her, she's not exactly motherly. Trixie snored. She's a bit domineering. She claims she stumbled across the kid, who looks, half frozen. We wanted to name the child Elsa, but then we found out it was a boy. Okay, that's it. You're allowed one! That was your one frozen joke! So he's not hard to stick out of the crowd. It was concerned he would be bullied for his appearance. So she found a pony in this artist's colony she runs to adopt him. She also became his legal guardian ad litem. I don't really know more than that. Hopefully we'll be able to stay out of her way all the while we're in Nome. Wait, is she going to be there? Asked Carrot Top. Doesn't she have better things to do? Trixie shook her head. She's his guardian. She has a legal and moral responsibility to be with her ward in this kind of situation. Besides, Luna needs somebody high up in the government that's empowered to make ideals, like letting the Wendigo stay in a certain place on equestrian soil, to be present for this. She can't go herself because of war stuff, so Poussant's is one of the other choices. She's been around long enough that she knows how to handle herself in negotiations. Shirley nodded. Yes, she might be inept at running her province's education systems, but I'm sure she can negotiate with a mythological monster just fine. What we need is Jean-Luc Picard. Trixie frowned. Poussant's, like the rest of the court, was not thrown off of it, and so it needs to be treated with deference and respect due her station. She paused. Girls, come on. Ponyville was almost destroyed because it got Nightlight mad at me. I'd like for us to go at least 6 months before getting on the bad side of another viceroy. Trixie, you didn't hear how she spoke to her great-grand cult. She was enraged that his life deviated from her script by the tiniest degree. A pony like that isn't worthy of respect. Remember Nightlight? He's proved that just because you're a viceroy doesn't make you a good pony. Yes, and I remember what Nightlight did when he got mad at us. Trixie held her gaze. Charlie, please, promise me you won't antagonize Poussons for no reason, okay? Fine. Charlie set her eyes but nodded. I promise. Dizzy put a wing on Charlie's shoulder. Maybe she was just stressed because of the gala, she said. I made a few mistakes with Dinky, like with the Char winning a Mrs. letter. She chuckled. I mean, after the way I reacted about sending Dinky to a certain school, I can't really criticize Poussons for having a similar reaction, right? You may not, Dizzy, but I can! Shirley looked at her for a moment before smiling slightly. You see the good in everybody, Dizzy. I'm a mother, the mailman replied. I know how hard it is to raise a foal, and I can only imagine how hard it must be to take in another one at our age. But as far as we know, she's been doing a good job. I can't imagine letting her keep Ice Heart otherwise. Tracy nodded. As soon as Poussons told Luna about Ice Heart, Luna went to meet him. She was concerned, as he might not know how to take care of a half-Wendigo hybrid. But her message to me said that Ice Heart is not only being raised by loving parents, provided everything he needs for school, physical activity, etc., but Poussons is going to substantial extents to modify his home to make him as comfortable as a pony whose half-ice can be. I mean, he's part Wendigo, but so even Poussons is kind of in left field here. But Luna didn't think there were any problems in how he was raised. Then I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt, Dizzy smiled at the others. Agreed? I'll be as nice as I can, said Shirley. Ditto, said Raindrops. Unless he doesn't pull a green grass to try to force us to move to Palermo, I won't buck her out the window. Deal, declared Tracy in a fox formal voice, while the others laughed. Iris settled back on the cushion. So, make sure the Wendigo doesn't ice any pony, and don't make the fire tree mad at us. Anything else? And that's about it. Shouldn't be too tough. And hey, everything's on Equestria's dime while we're in Nome. Tracy smiled. No, who wants a celebratory bourbon to mark our annual Russia? Dizzy glanced at the clock. Actually, it's just about 5. Can we use the crystal ball first? My little muffin should just be about ready. Of course! Tracy levitated a crystal ball from her saddlebag. Just remember to be careful with it. The spell only works because these balls Luna loaned us have a little chip from the crystal heart in them, and they don't just get that stuff away. They're pretty much irreplaceable! I'll be careful, Trixie. Alright, I'll send energy through. And once Twilight sends some on the other end, the accumulation link should be established. Her horn glowed as she shot energy into the ball. There we go, and... In moments, the ball's cloudy surface faded and was replaced with the head of a brightly smiling, purple-coated, blood and vein foal. Oh god, I thought I could go through one thick without... My little muffin! Dizzy flew to the crystal ball and pressed it up against her muzzle. I'm so glad to see you. How are you doing? I'm fine, Mama. I'm having lots of fun. Sparkle's showing me how to put necklaces together. Dinky levitated up a necklace consisting of several glass beads on the string. You said to me when you get home, I'm gonna give you the best one. You like me yellow, right? Dear, anything you make for me is beautiful. Trixie chuckled. Aww. Tell me about your day, Dizzy said. What did you learn in school? Was the substitute all right, Les? She paused. Dinky, could you lower your head a little? Something's on your head. Dinky lowered her head to reveal a potato impaled on her little horn. Dear, why can't you have a sweet potato on your head? It's not just a potato, protested Dinky. It's a sweet potato, because you can always tell me how sweet I am. Dizzy couldn't help but smile. And the reason you have a sweet potato on your head is... Well, Apple Pumpkin misses a school bouncing an apple on her head, and Snail said he could do better than that. So, but what in his horn, so now everybody is playing fruits and vegetables in their horns and heads. Dinky giggled. I'm gonna put a banana, but it's moist. So, I'm going to find the stringer's food, and Diamond the Yard tried to put a stun on an orange with ribbons, but... Dizzy grinned as he listened to the story. Distantly, she observed that the train cult was slowing down as the train reached Moscow. But she didn't care. She was talking to her daughter, and that was all that mattered. Dinky asked after a few minutes of chatter. Yes, Miss Trixie. Is he having fun? You know, sometimes I wonder if my Dinky voice could be used as a replacement for dog whistles, considering how high pitched I could get. Ha! Dinky looked up to see Trixie out on the platform, in the midst of a bunch of ponies with big furry hats and even bigger smiles. They were on their hind legs, hopping from one another, squat position. Of course I could do it to just a rusty squat dance. I am a night owl after all. Hooray! The ponies cheered. They all gave her a spot in the formation and began to sing. Muscot, land of the lovely snow, land where the best of the rye grows, land of our dreams. Trixie tried to imitate them as best she could. Muscot, Muscot, I don't really know all the words. I don't know the words at all. Ho, 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 ho. Ah! She slipped and fell on her flank. What's up? Asked Carrot Top. No, I got this. Trixie managed to get back on her hose. No, that's not canon in the Lunaverse. Muscot, Muscot, no, my hose are all cold. Dizzy turned back to the crystal ball, thinking Simmons inside. She's fine, dear. So, are you really going to be mean by streaming post-ons and no? Yes. She's setting up the hotel so we'll have rooms when we arrive. Dinky blinked. But it's closer to no, the Palema cover, right? So you had to go back there to find this ice thing first, and you right away. So, how come she'll be here first? Dizzy realized he hadn't thought about it. Well, I'm sure she has a way of getting there. She's a vice queen after all. She has lots of money, so she can buy fast transportation. Dinky cocked her head. Silver Spoon said your daddy's wine collections were just as much as I am. How many is vice queen Puson's collection worth? I think I need to talk to Sterling again, thought Dizzy. He's worth more than our entire wine collection. Even if he's drinking from 1,000-bit bottle now, and has 1,000 more just like it at home. You're priceless, my little muffin. Dinky blushed. You think he's really drinking from a 1,000-bit bottle right now? It wouldn't surprise me.